Welcome back to the JA Inspire Virtual Career Fair. I'm your host, Dr. Troy Podell, and with me is our next exciting guest, Rama Assaf-Smith. She is the Director of Analytics for Comcast. Rama currently leads a team of data scientists and analysts at Comcast, and through her role, helps measure the customer's experience on the Xfinity X1 and HSD platforms. Prior to joining Comcast, Rama spent some time working for a global investment bank, a Philadelphia-based startup, and a utility company. She holds a master's in business intelligence from St. Joseph's University and a bachelor's degree in computer science from Morgan State University. To find out more about Rama's phenomenal employer, you can find them online at comcast.com. Rama, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
It's such a pleasure. I have to tell you, I'm personally a bit of an analytics nerd. So the fact that I get to hang out with such an awesome analytics nerd like you it's made my day. So thank you for making the time.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
For the uninitiated at home, Rama, can you explain what exactly is analytics and how does Comcast use it to drive data-driven decisions?
So basically, what my team does is we gather data from a lot of our products. So our video product, our broadband product, and we use that data to infer how our platform is performing and finding ways to improve our product and also the customer experience. So it's really using data that our services are providing to inform our leadership and kind of giving them that, glass vision, if you want, for how their systems are doing and how or when they should, work to improve different platforms and product. It allows us to tell stories to our leaders. So yeah, it's quite exciting.
What motivated you or inspired you to get into the field of analytics in the first place?
So I was a stat minor in undergrad. So I was always interested in data and analytics and statistics. However, I had a bachelor's degree in computer science. And after my first role at Goldman Sachs, I discovered what I didn't want to do. And I realized that although I loved coding, I really enjoyed working with people day in and day out more and being in the room where decisions were made. And that's how I made the decision to get a master's degree in business intelligence and hence, follow the data analyst path.
What's your favorite part of your job?
Favorite part of the job, I like to say that we're like detectives. So the favorite part is solving a mystery of finding any intel that is hidden in a massive amount of data and being able to provide the leadership with more clarity and, more ammunition to make better decisions. So being able to solve problems, answer questions quickly is really what, excites me.
Can you talk to our viewers for a moment about the career path that you've traveled? Because it is an interesting one. And you mentioned your time at Goldman and figuring out that coding wasn't necessarily for you, but when you figured out that, hey, I've got this master's of business intelligence, feeling really good about a career in analytics, how does one achieve a position of director of analytics?
It takes a lot of work. So you have to put in the work. You have to be willing to always learn, raise your hand, whenever possible. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes in my career, but just learn from it, right? So I chose the analytics path, like I said before, because I knew that I just didn't want to write code. I wanted the interactions, right? And once I figured that out, it was easy to, you know, decide what my career would look like. And I was fortunate enough to start in a startup company. And that's where I really learned the ins and outs. I was given the opportunity to build things from scratch, which again set me up for my next opportunity at um, a utility company. And there again, I was able to, learn something new, build on something, on the things that I had already acquired, build something new, solve problems, almost eliminating my job, because that's what I just wanted to make things better and faster. And that also set me up for the next opportunity, which was my role at Comcast. I started at Comcast as an analyst, and it was really through proving to people that I could do the work, that they could trust me, that I was smart, I could get it done. And I wasn't afraid to take on challenges. I wasn't afraid to say yes. And that really, I believe, sets you apart. And also acknowledging when you don't know, and having the courage to say, I don't know that, but I'll go ahead and figure it out. Yeah.
Rama, what in your career transition from analyst to leader of analysts, what do you find has been the biggest difference in your professional life?
Well, the difference is now I get to be in more discussions, in more rooms, and I get to interact with other leaders within the company. And I get to provide leadership to junior analysts, which I absolutely love. But I do miss the actual doing, right? The working on an analysis and finding that answer, and then presenting it. Yeah. So my role right now is more along the lines of coaching and helping the analyst and the scientist on the team answer the questions that they're being asked, putting them on the right path, putting them, giving them the resources that they need to be successful in their jobs. But in order to do that, I needed to myself know how the work is done, but also having a network and knowing how things work in the company at large. That's also very helpful.
Rama, for our viewers watching, situated in high school or middle school, some elementary school folks are watching as well.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a math or science bend and they're thinking, maybe analytics is for me. What advice do you have for those kids?
I would tell them, be curious, right? And question things around you, because that's what a good analyst does, right? You're always asking why. You're not afraid to dig in. Keep paying attention in your math classes, because they'll really carry you a long way. And really keep learning. Like, there's so much material available online right now, especially now. Like, you could take college courses right now, explore the analytics field, the data science field, and see if that's something that you're interested in. There are a lot of classes available online for free. It is really, everyone could do it, right? It's just about discipline and figuring out if that's what you like to do. But I would say keep being curious, keep asking questions, have an open mind, and probably also think outside the box. I can tell you how many times I was stuck on a problem and I had to take a step back and think of something completely different to, come up with the solution.
Sometimes it's the paradigm of fresh eyes, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Rob, I have one more question, and
Yeah,
thank you. It's so generous.
of course.
I want you to imagine that you've got your 17-year-old self by the shoulders. What do you tell her?
I'll tell her failing is okay. Just make sure you learn from your mistakes, and that she will survive all the bad days that have happened in the past. So it always seems like it's a big deal at the moment, but in the grand scheme of things, it's probably not. And to keep pushing and don't take no for an answer, and don't be afraid, right? There's a lot out there that one can do, so don't be afraid.
Sage advice, Rama. Thank you so very much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
And for folks viewing at home, we have one more interview to go, so stay tuned.
Thanks.